This is the year in review, and I'm joined by three of the great racing minds: Adam Blencowe from Racing and Sports, Peter Moody and Glen Boss. In the first episode, we looked back, gave a few awards. This time, we look ahead. Well, guys, we did this 12 months ago, so we're going to check the score sheet now. Adam Blencowe, Fangirl and Western Empire to star. Cross. Coolangatta won't get to Nature Strip level. You get a tick for that. Over to you, Bossy. Espiona and Jewess to fire in the spring. Next big thing, Dylan Gibbons and Bailey Wheeler. You get a big tick for Dylan Gibbons there. So I said Amelia's Jeweller, next big thing. I'm going to give half a tick because it's still inconclusive. And Moods, it'll be a dry autumn, largely a tick for that. Coolangatta will go well with dry tracks, tick for that. Zaki has peaked, another tick. Don't get too big an ego here. Next big thing, Mullane and Dool. But my question is, you couldn't even tell us how good I Wish I Win was going to be?
Had to keep some powder dry.
Well, you get the award anyway, and we've got a little presentation here for getting the most right. 3 out of 4. He had to have 4 goes and he got 3 right.
I was lucky to fit
Thanks to the new recruit, Gabby Doxey, for jumping in with that one.
There you go.
Thank you, Gabby.
Mate, after that rap, that's lucky you didn't fit over your head there.
Well, the competition, it was a bit like the Melbourne Cup of the Cox Plate. Someone had to win it, didn't they?
Well done, big fella.
I want to talk about this 3-year-old crop. It's an outstanding crop. To me, it's one of the best 3-year-old crops I've seen, and time will tell how good, but what do the stats say, Adam?
Well, this century only twice have the 3-year-olds beaten the older horses more times in open Group 1s than the 9 that this year's chalked up. You have to go back to Octagonal and Nothing Like a Dane to find the group before that. So you've got Exceed and Excel's crop, and you've got the great Piero All Too Hard Done Deal crop ahead of them in terms of wins against the older horses. So they've done the job against the older horses already. Now that might be a function of the older horses being no good, of course, and there might be a little bit of that, but I think this is a strong 3-year-old group, particularly the sprinting set.
But some of the names, Legato, Prowess, Sharp and Smart, Penny Wecker, Kovalika, Coolangatta, Giga Kick, In Secret, Lofty Strike, Amelia's Jewel. I mean, that is a decent lineup, Moods. They've
looked terrific, beating the older horses on a lot of occasions. The interesting thing will be now to see how they step up and improve. But due to the lack of depth in the older horse ranks, maybe they don't have to improve that significantly to measure up as they have had to do in previous years. We've seen a changing of the guard and a rapid changing of the guard. A couple of them will put their hand up and say, you know, we can really do it, but on the whole, they probably don't have to improve a lot.
You're excited about the new generation coming through, Bossy?
Oh, it's mouthwatering. Visually, it's noticeable. Prowess is the one that I'm really looking forward to this year.
On to the sprinters, and finally, after years, Adam, we saw this changing of the guard. It's been Nature Strip and Eduardo just holding their turf, and the back half of the season in particular, the new brigade came through, headed by Giga Kick and I Wish I Win. Yeah,
they're the new headliners. It was great, Nature Strip versus Fast Eddie for all those years, but we were ready for a bit of a changing of the guard, and yeah, we got it in some style, obviously, with I Wish I Win and Giga Kick.
In Secret, the leader, 100 metres to go. Lofty Strike is flashing down the outside, but it's the filly In Secret holding on. In Secret won the Newmarket.
In Secret winning the Newmarket the way that she did, having won the Coolmore the way that she did. She had off days during the year In Secret, but when she was on, and hopefully in the next year we'll see her on a lot more often, which is going to make her competitive with those as well. So yeah, and the list goes on. It's a really promising.
It does go on. I mean, I really rate Uncommon James, who made rapid improvement as well. Imperatrice looks as though it's got a stack of talent. Overpass just got better and better as well, and we know what Private Eye is capable of, and think about if kept to sprinting as well. Think about it.
Are you going to me?
Sorry. Sorry.
Oh, you're looking at me. I got nothing.
And Moods, from your own point of view with I Wish I Win, it must be great to have that Everest slot locked away and just be able to focus on the horse now in the build-up.
Yeah, it certainly is very exciting, isn't it? It'll be interesting to see where we measure up. We're going to get a bit more competition from the 3-year-olds. We've seen Think About It win the Stradbroke, and I thought he looked dynamic in the back end of the season. So I'm confident that my bloke's certainly going to hold his form. Can he find a little bit more? I'm hoping so, because I think he will need to. We're probably going to see a bigger, stronger Giga Kick. and a few new kids on the block. So it's exciting times for the sprinting ranks going forward.
Nice to have an entire country cheering for you as well with New Zealand.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if they'll actually get me wearing the black Guernsey with the fern leaf on, but no. But you know, listen, I'm certainly proud to represent them. The horse is obviously majority owned and born and raised there, and you know, we've had a lot of success out of New Zealand, as have most Australian stables. They're an integral part of our racing industry here. The success that they bring to our racing industry is astronomical for the small pool of horses that they produce. So let's hope I Wish I Win can continue to fly the flag very proudly for them.
So who is going to be the best sprinter by the end of spring, Adam?
Giga Kick.
Moods?
Giga Kick.
Bossy?
I Wish I Win.
I'll go I Wish I Win. So to the middle distance horses, the conundrum of Australian racing, if you like, because we know it's going to be a new brigade, Adam, and I'm really interested in a horse like Light Infantry, who is going to be set for a Ladbrokes Cox Plate, and then you've got a Romantic Warrior, and then all these 3-year-olds coming through as well. So it's an exciting refreshment of the middle distance pool, really.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Light Infantry was a little bit stiff behind your bloke in the Golden Eagle last year. I think the best horse won, but he might have run you closer.
Scraping the grandstand.
He might have run you closer, and he's coming back and he's racing just as well. Ran really well at Royal Ascot, Light Infantry, so there's certainly a spot there for him in our middle distance ranks. It's going to be, I mean, Bossy's all fizzy about prowess, and I get it. That makes a whole lot of sense. Osipenko is one that I think Kovalika is now getting the headlines, but Osipenko has the ratings to match him and might have just as much improvement to come, and there's a bit of substance to Osipenko.
Yeah, so Dan Cobby, who does a bit of work for us, he keeps telling me, don't forget Osipenko. Yeah. Do not forget it. Had that little hiccup at a bad time in the autumn.
Well, there's certainly probably a bit like you've got your Alligator Bloods and Mr Brightsides, who've been the sort of flag bearers at that sort of mile range the last season or two. It's hard to think that they're going to improve off what they've done.
Japanese Emperor and Attrition, stride for stride. Attrition just in front. The filly Legato is driving at them. It got up. The filly, the Kiwi, Legato.
So you've got to look for these 3 rising 4-year-olds, your Prowesses, your Legatos, you know, your Osipenkos, your Kovalikos to step up to the mark. Or is it going to be a year that we see a 2-year-old rising 3 that might step up, and you know, we see something go around the Cox Plate with 47.5 or 50 on its back, a 3-year-old filly or a 3-year-old colt. If the one puts its hand up, this might be the year, because we haven't got those proven sort of stars at the top.
Yeah, it's a good point. Light Infantry was terrific at Royal Ascot too. Set the pace, which surprised a few, but was really good. And you're close with that team. They've got a massive opinion of this horse.
Oh, he'll come back here with a full prep under his belt, and I suggest that he's going to be very, very hard to beat in whatever he runs in. His ratings suggest that he's right up amongst the good ones here.
Do you think they'll bring a jockey with him this year, or they might?
Well, I think
Frankie Dettori.
Frankie Dettori.
I think there'll be a change.
All right, I was just wondering. They might use.
You're hoping they do.
They might use a local talent, right?
So who will be the middle distance star, Adam?
Osipenko.
Legato or a rising 3-year-old?
Light Infantry.
Legato for me. All right, on the race programming, what race would you rather win? And keeping in mind there's 87 million up for grabs during the Everest Carnival. So October 14, one-word answers from all 3 of you. Caulfield Guineas worth 3 million or Everest worth 20 million?
Caulfield Guineas worth 50 million. I'd rather win the Caulfield Guineas.
Everest.
Pretty easy, the Everest.
Same day, Toorak worth $1 million, or the newbie, the King Charles, worth 5 million.
Does the King present me the trophy?
Only if I get a kiss from Camilla.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. If she comes over and gives me a kiss, I'd ride that King Charles.
October 28, $5 million Ladbrokes Cox Plate, or the $2 million Spring Champion?
Well, the Ladbrokes Cox Plate. It's got to be the Ladbrokes Cox Plate.
Without a doubt.
Yep, easy one.
And
Cox
then you've got the $2 million Manicato and the $2 million The Invitation.
That is, oh, jeez. Maybe the Invitation, that might be worth more money with the mare's resale value.
And if we win the Manicato with a colt, it'll be worth a lot more.
Yeah.
November 4, the $2 million VRC Derby or the $10 million Golden Eagle?
Golden Gumboot for me.
Golden Eagle.
Golden Eagle. It tastes good, I know.
We both won one.
Yeah.
The $2 million Coolmore or the $3 million Giga Kick Stakes?
$50 million Coolmore.
Coolmore.
Coolmore with the right horse.
And this is the biggest poser yet. On November 7, there's a race called the $7.7 million Melbourne Cup or the $3 million Big Dance.
Should we be arguing this point? Really?
I'd rather run 17th in the Cup.
Yeah.
Now, if you could change one thing in racing, Bossy?
I'd like to see the weights raised, healthier athletes.
Moods?
I'd just love to see the country reunite in their racing management, if you'd like. I know competition is good and healthy for the sport, but let's please work together a bit closer than we have the last couple of seasons.
Adam?
I'll go down the same line as Bossy. I'd rejuvenate the handicapping overall and make it a much faster, more fast-moving, more dynamic handicap, nationwide or even just in an individual state, just to get horses moving through the handicap a little bit more freely and have fewer horses get stuck on a benchmark.
Yeah, and I think there's an argument to say in Victoria, with some of the prize money challenges we've got, that we could actually hold a little bit less racing, but protect the quality of it at the top level.
Yep.
I think the one thing is Victoria is getting a bit of a kick against us for the prize money levels as New South Wales, but bear in mind, I believe Victoria has the best facilities in the country. So you've got to weigh the two up. You can't spend all the money on prize money and not look after the infrastructure. And I think Victoria are probably balancing it a little bit better than most at the moment. So just bear that in mind. If you want a horse trained in Victoria, I think you're going to get the best facilities. Maybe if you want lesser facilities and more money, get them trained in New South Wales.
So send your horses to Peter Moody and he'll go and win the Sydney money for you.
The Victorian horses keep winning their money. It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
Time now for the next big thing, and I'm biased here. I love Simon Miller, I love Amelia's Jewel. I'm going to double down on last year. I'm with Amelia's Jewel as well. So, do you, Adam?
Like it, but I've gone and found the 1,000 Guineas winner, a little filly called Legacies.
Oh.
Who won the Anzac Day Stakes, blew them off the park, statistically significant margins, best win in the race since Long John. He went on and won the Caulfield Guineas. She's a good filly, Legacies, is she not?
Adam stole my thunder.
Oh.
He has. I've got to agree with him here. I think Legacies is the promising galloper in my stables, and I'm going to throw in a wild card. I think the next big thing could be a young New Zealand rider to follow in the footsteps of Walker, McDonald, a lad called Wiremu Pin. I think he will be staying in Australia. He'll be making a name for himself. I don't know him. I hope he has the mental stability to cope with what's coming his way to match his ability.
Great story behind him too.
Yeah.
Just such a ripper story with everything he's been through to get where he is. And what about you, Bossy?
Well, I think we're going to be talking a bit more about this. As it stands, the whip rules, there's 5 before the 100 and unlimited after the 100 metre mark.
It's different in the UK. It's only 6 in a race.
That's right. I think there's going to be more news about this thing. I think there's going to be more refinements, and their jockeys are going to have to really get used to it, because heat of the battle stuff, they're losing their numbers, and if you read the stewards reports on every meeting, there's fines, and just to demonstrate it, you have to say you're on there, right, and you're trying to win a big race and you're hitting them like that.
Hang on, I'm trying to count here.
It doesn't even hurt, really.
Can you count?
No, see, I've already lost count.
Hang on, how many times before the 100?
Oh, I mean, I lost count then, so I don't know. But in the heat of the battle, they're losing their numbers, right?
Have I got to kiss you now?
Hey.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.